It is 5:40. Not quite sure when I'm supposed to read the time. At 5:40 right now, 5:40, 32 actually, Alex. A little colder than what we expect for this time of March.
That's right. We're talking about temperatures down into the 30s this morning. The averages are 40s and 70s now for lows and highs, so we're going to be a bit below that. But by the time we get to the afternoon, right where we should be. So that's what we've got going for us this morning. Looking live over downtown, we do have temperatures in the 30s, 33 in Macon. That wind out of the west at 5 is making it feel like 29 though. We have 35 in Warner Robins, 36 in Jeffersonville, 34 now in Milledgeville. Down to the south, a couple spots at freezing, Cochran, Eastman, McRae, 35 over in Montezuma, and 33 in Forsyth this morning. But again, those wind chills in the 20s in a handful of spots. Forsyth, Macon, it feels like 31 in Gordon, feels like 32 in Unadilla, and 32 in McRae right now. A freeze warning in effect until 10 a.m. and I don't suspect that we'll get another one by the time we get to tonight and into tomorrow, because our temperatures tomorrow morning are going to be significantly warmer. So high pressure really close to us, just down to the south. It's spinning up some Gulf air. Gulf air is going to be responsible for bringing us 70s by the time we get later in the day today, as we are going to be on the flip side of the high pressure. Of course, you look back off towards the west, there's a developing weather system, and that is what's going to bring us rain by the time we get into the latter part of St. Patrick's Day. So 60 by the noon hour. I do think we break 70 in several spots today. Partly cloudy skies, we'll call it. And then St. Patrick's Day, of course, arrives tomorrow, a big day down in Dublin. We're going to start the day off clear, temperatures near 50, but then by the time we get to 3, 4 o'clock, watching this band of heavy rain develop right along Interstate 85, and that's going to push into central Georgia by the time we get to the evening hours. So around 6 p.m., the rain beginning Eatonton, Milledgeville, Macon, Warner Robins. Still mostly dry in Dublin at the moment. That will arrive 7 to 8 o'clock in Dublin, and that's going to hang on until about 11 p.m. And then once we get into the overnight hours into Saturday, going to be talking about temperatures back down into the 30s for Saturday morning. But as for today, 72, the high temperature, sunrise at 7:44, much warmer here in central Georgia than we were yesterday. And for St. Patrick's Day down in Dublin, we're going to be talking about, of course, the threat of rain by the time we get into the evening hours, but the majority of the day will be dry. Temperatures starting in the 50s, warming their way into the mid to upper 70s before all is said and done. Back here in Macon, 74 is what I'm going with for the high temperature. Sunset tomorrow, of course, at 7:44, winds out of the south at about 10 to 20 miles an hour. And of course, we have a jam-packed weekend full of stuff you could do. Of course, all the stuff down in Dublin for St. Patrick's Day. The Cherry Blossom Festival, as Suzanne was just talking about, here in Macon, 65 on Saturday, 58 on Sunday. All of that a much better day than Friday in terms of the rain threat. Of course, Mercer Baseball also back in town this weekend. That Friday game is going to be a little interesting, of course, with the timing of the rain. But then by the time we get into next week, we're going to be talking about those high temperatures remaining in the 50s with lows down into the 30s. Yes, that is rather cool for this time of year. All right, tomorrow morning, don't forget to join us. I'm getting in on the St. Patrick's Day fun, and it's a special day because I get to wear green. I never get to wear green because I stand in front of a big green wall to do the weather. That's coming your way tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. right here on 13 WMAZ.